Hello, my name is Sarah Janes, and I'm going to run through my process with you for documenting my art using a scanner. Now, the scanner that I use is an Epson V600 Perfection Photo Scanner, but any high-resolution scanner will do. So the first thing you would like to do, or need to do that is open your scanner. Now, because most of my work is quite large, I will often need to remove the lid of the scanner. So what you're going to do is open it up all the way and tug very gently while supporting the top piece until it pops out. Now, there are cords there holding it, so you need to really be sure that that piece is not going to fall and damage any of the cords. So I tend to rest it on something. You want to make sure that your scanner glass is clean. So you're going to take off any dust. Of course, that is, if you do end up with dust or something on there, you can fix that up on Photoshop, but doing cleaning the glass ahead of time will just save you that work later on. All right, because I tend to work quite large, I will often put some furniture or whatever else I have on hand close by that I can rest the art on. Okay, so I'm placing the art on the scanner glass. I want to keep it nice and flat, nice and aligned with the edges of the scanner glass. I like to bring it in just a little bit so nothing gets cut off. And then a clean piece of fabric that is dark and will cut the light is placed over top. I hit scan on my Epson scan program. Then I'll kind of mark where the edge of the scanner glass is with my hand, my finger, and then shift the artwork. Put the sheet over top again so that no light can get through. And because we've removed the top, we need to do this. And then hit scan again. Now this process is repeated over and over again. It's important to overlap your scans as well a little bit. So I do more scans than necessary, and that saves me having to go back. So I'm going to rotate the artwork now so that I can go across and scan the other side. You'll notice I'm resting it on the furniture, resting it on a little IKEA shelf so that it will hold itself stable and covering it again. And now I'm going to go across the other side in 3 scans of this, I think it's an 18 by 24 inch painting. So I've counted sort of the staples, just trying to make sure that I have everything. Lining it up, but bringing it in a little bit. So I had done the top, and now I am scanning the bottom. So I'm allowing for some overlap, scanning the center bottom. And rotating it to get the center top. Just taking off any little pieces of dust that got on there. So now I'm going to do the bottom left. Scan that. All right, once you've scanned every section of your painting, it's easy to put the lid back on. You're just kind of fitting the little feet into the holes, and it's a gentle push downwards until it snaps in, and your lid will close again. So anything sort of larger than a 16 by 20, you will need to remove that lid. All right, so I use the Epson Scan 2. You're going to want to pay attention to all your settings, depending on whether or not you're doing a color or a grayscale. You want to set where those images are saved. You can do a preview scan. Just be sure to click that it's not only doing a thumbnail or so that you can see the whole thing. You can play with the brightness, etc., etc. Once I have saved those files, I do tend to like to go in and just change the name of them. So you'll see here the artwork is called Light Unto My Life, and I have 8 scans. Now I am going to go to the Adobe Suite. Do know that you have a discount if you're a student or a teacher. And I'm going to open up Photoshop. Once I'm in Photoshop, I have a lot of options. I can create a custom size, but I like to allow the scans to sort of find their size. So we're going to go to File, Automate, Photo Merge. Then you browse, you select all the files that you have just scanned. So these are going to be all the pieces that you have just scanned of your artwork. So you're going to select those files. So I'm just having a peek at them now. I'm going to select all of them and hit open. Now you'll see them all here in the photo merge. You hit OK. And Photoshop now takes all of those images and does its best to mesh them all together. Now, if they won't mesh together, you will very quickly realize or become aware of the fact that you have not scanned every piece. I have run into the problem where I've had large sections of the artwork that are too similar, and so I've actually put washi tape over those sections so the program could recognize it. Now what I'm doing is I'm collapsing all of the open layers. So all of those different images, those different scans are layers. Now you can do that all at once or one at a time as I've done here. And I'm going to go into Image now, rotate my canvas so that my swan is right side up. You can play with adjusting the color here. So you can play with the levels and the curves. If you feel like maybe your saturation's off, you have a lot of power here to adjust your image within Photoshop. Now you'll notice that I have little bits of white on the side. So I'm going to want to crop my image and clean that up a little bit, cut off those white pieces. I'm trying to maintain as much of the image as possible, and then crop. So you will want to obviously save your piece. I typically name it, give it a title and then save it as the full scan or full merge file. All right, when you're ready to print, you can use the Epson print layout. You're just going to choose your picture, drop it in there. You'll pick your paper size. I print on Epson Natural, Hot Press Natural. You're going to choose your paper size, whether or not it's portrait or landscape, and you can set your own template. I use a 0.5 inch border for my color prints, 8 by 10, and no border for my black and whites. So you can see I have an 8 by 10 here already set up. I drop in my print or my image and hit print. Alright, so I use the Epson SureColor P900. You can buy all of the inks separately or as one, and I print on Hot Press Natural Epson paper. So for this particular print, I'm using the back feeder and not the front. You've got the option of the back, the front, and roll, and again, this prints up to 17 inches wide. Now I'm printing the swan on 8.5 by 11 inch paper to an 8 by 10 with a 0.5 inch border. Here she comes. And you can see that the colors are fantastic. It matches the original really well. So at this point, I let it dry for about 24 hours and then I can trim off the excess. If you have any questions, you can reach me at Sarah Janes Art on Instagram or Facebook, www.sarahjanes.com, my website. Thank you.